Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to my world. Well, you guys asked for it, and so I made it. I got a lot of requests for back to school dry erase boards, something that you could put in your locker and have your friends leave you little notes, or you could leave your own self notes about what you got to do that day, or don't forget to take home your sweat socks so they don't smell up your gym locker, or something like that. Anyway, we're going to make a dry erase board that really works. Look at this. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm going to show you how to make one right now. So for this project, we're going to need some cardboard, and this is just regular cardboard. And I've cut this one here to, this is about almost 5 inches by almost 7 inches. This is just a little piece of cardboard that I had and cut it to that size, but it can make whatever size you want it to be. You'll need some scissors. You'll need duct tape. Now, one of the things that's most important is you're going to need a light colored duct tape. This is going to be for the base where you're going to write your messages. So you don't want to go too dark. You don't want to use a dark color because you won't be able to see your writing. So you want to use, a nice light color. And then you're also going to need packing tape. This is very important. And you will need a dry erase marker. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover this entire thing with my light colored duct tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to lay these pieces out first, just on top like this. And I'm not getting too terribly worried about the fact that it's hanging over because I'm going to actually make a little frame. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, pick it up, and I'm going to flip it over. And I'm just going to take these pieces on the sides here. I'm going to trim this because that's not going to stick to anything. So I'm just going to trim that little bit off there. And then I'm going to fold these pieces over and up. Again, I'm not going to get too concerned because I'm going to seal my sides in just a second. Again, I'm going to just cut this little bit off here. Snip that away, and then fold these little pieces up and over. Okay, now I'm going to make my frame. But for my frame, I'm going to use this pretty stuff. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I want to make little holders, and I want to make a place for my pen to go. So I'm going to take some of this tape. I just want to make sure I have enough to make these strips. So what I'm going to do is take my tape, put it sticky side up, fold it all the way over in half, like that, and then I'm going to cut this into strips. In half like that. So I can get 2 out of this one, and I can get 2 out of this one. So that doesn't really matter how long these are. I made mine about 7 inches, but you're going to want these just because what we're going to do is we're going to end up making little hooks so that you can hang it. Anyway, I'm going to put those off to the side because I don't need those right now. I'm going to measure to my sides here. I'm going to lay my tape down. Now, I don't need this whole thing to go over and around, so I'm actually going to rip this in half, like that. Flip it over. And there's my top part. Now I'm going to use this for my side. Fold it over. Again, I'm not going to get too worried because this trims off. Just going to snip that there. Snip that there. Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom strip. Kind of get a sense of how much I had put down there on the bottom so they kind of match. Lay it down. Again, I'm not going to use the whole thing, so I'm going to rip this off like that. Fold it over. Now I've got my bottom, and now I'm going to do my last side here. Line it up, fold it over. Got this little end bit, going to snip it off. Snip. This little end bit, snip it off. Okay, and there's my little board. So now I'm going to make the covering for this. And the covering, so that the pen will erase easily, I'm going to use this packing tape. Now, when I use the packing tape, what I'd like to try to do is get as few juncture lines as possible. See how these juncture lines, they go over each other? I want to try to get as few as possible when I put down my surface here. So I'm going to go right within, right underneath that frame. Cut it off over here. And I'm going to try to line this up as close as I possibly can. Now I do want to do a little overlap because I want to make sure that it's sealed tight. But what I don't want to do is do lots and lots of lines if I can get away from it. There we go. And the only reason I say that is because then when you start writing and erasing and writing and erasing and writing and erasing, sometimes the ink will have a tendency to get stuck in that little grooved edge there. So the less of those that you have, the better. Okay, now I can just fold this over in the back, although I've got that little piece that helps me find my tape, so I'm going to cut that off. Just fold that over. Now, if you're one of those people that likes things really, really clean and you like both sides to be covered, go ahead, cover the back side. You can do that too. Now I'm just going to add final touches. I'm going to give myself a little place to hold my pen. And that way my pen will always be at the ready for whoever wants to write me a little note. So what I'm going to do here is snip this so it's nice and clean. And I'm actually going to use the packing tape because you won't be able to see it. I'm going to take a little packing tape here. I'm going to take my little slip there, take my packing tape, cut a little piece of it, and just secure that down nice and tight. And now I can pick this up and make sure, I want to make sure that I leave enough room for my pen. So see how I put my pen underneath there? And now the other side can get secured. But I've left enough room there for my pen. There we go. And fold that over. And what I love about that packing tape is because it's invisible, you don't even see that. See that? There you go. Now I can just stick my pen in there like that. Okay, and I'm just going to give myself a couple little straps. So I'm just going to flip this over. And I'm going to tape these on the back here. Oops, I'm going to use these guys. They're skinnier. One on either side. One here, one here. This I'm just going to use some nice yellow duct tape because this is nice and sturdy. And for me, nobody's really going to see the back. So I'm just going to put my little piece of tape here and a little piece of tape here. Flip it over. And I want to be able to, put like a thumbtack or something through that. So what I'm going to do to make that happen is I'm actually, instead of going straight up and down like that, which I could do if I was going to hang it this way, if I was going to hang it on something like that, I would do them straight like that. But I'm going to want to put it, I'm going to want to put like a little thumbtack and do it straight against a wall. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this and twist it. Do you see that? So I'm taking the end and I'm twisting it to the front like that. So now I have a loop that goes up and over. I'm just going to use a little piece of tape here. Again, I'm going to use my packing tape because it's clear and you won't see it. It'll be nice and clean. There we go. Again, twist it. So twisting it. I needed to make sure I was going in the right direction there. And using a piece of packing tape, packing it down. I'm going to snip off that little, again, that was that little piece that I used to make sure that I don't lose it. And there we go. I have my fabulous board. And now I can write a little message on here. Stick my pen back in, and there you go. And there you have it, your own personal whiteboard that you can put in your locker or next to your desk at home to help remind you to take your homework into school each day. For more ideas for back to school, come and check us out at Sophie-World.com.